Hi, my name is Deontay Lau. I've been a SimTech for over 9 years, and I'm also the founder of SimLister.com. I wanted to share with you Telesim. Telesim is something that we're doing because we cannot do simulation in the lab right now. It's actually web-based simulation. We're actually using Zoom and the Leap software to actually have web-based simulation via web chat or online. This has helped us a lot because right now we cannot do simulations in the actual lab. So what we're trying to do is still give people that critical thinking and that teaching when it comes to simulation. Um, so without further ado, we can go ahead and get into it. And to do this, all you need is a laptop or computer that has internet connection and Leap software. You'll also need the Zoom application. Um, this will work with the paid version of the Zoom application. I'm not 100% sure if the trial version will actually work with this, but you can definitely give it a try and definitely let me know if it does work. But I know 100% sure that the paid version, this will work. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the computer here. All right, guys. So to do Telesim, you can either use the free Vital Signs software here, or you can use the Laerdal Leap software. I'm going to start with the Laerdal Leap software just because that's what most of us are used to using. And then towards the end of this video, I'm going to get into how to use the Vital Signs software and how to do Telesim with that one as well. So we're going to click on the Laerdal simulation home, and then we're going to start the Leap application. And again, guys, we're doing this without a manikin. So just keep that in mind that this is for when you don't have access to a manikin. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to this box that says virtual simulator, and we're going to click local computer. What virtual simulator does is it actually simulates a manikin. Basically, it allows you to run the software without a manikin. So we're going to actually pick which manikin we want to simulate. And you can see these are all the different manikins we have to choose from. What I basically do is when I'm running a sim, I look at the patient's age, and based on the patient's age, that is the simulator that I pick. So if the patient is 21, I'll use SimMan 3G. If the patient is 6, I'll use Sim Junior. If the patient is 10 weeks old, then I'll use Sim Baby, or Sim Newbie is on here as well. Sim Newborn right here. So just heads up, kind of look at your scenario and pick your manikin that you're going to be using. So I'll just pick Sim Junior just for the sake of things. All right, and we want to do manual mode. And we're just going to pick healthy patient and click OK. All right, and we're going to start the session. Now keep in mind we're doing all this before we even set up Zoom, right? Because we want to get our system set up before we actually go into the actual Zoom part. But you'll see everything as I do it. Okay, so now we have our software here for our manikin. So from here, what I do is I go back down to the bar down here, and I click on the Laerdal simulation home. Now we have to bring up the patient monitor. So if we go here, you see it says patient monitor. Click on that. Okay. All right, so now we have our patient monitor loaded up. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our simulator Leap software so we can actually input the vital signs. So to get out of this is kind of tricky. On your keyboard, you'll see there's a Windows button. it'll be to the bottom of the keyboard to the left of the space bar. You want to hit the Windows button, and that's going to bring up this bottom dashbar here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down here and click back on the healthy patient, the virtual simulator, the Leap software. So we're going to click on that, and that'll bring us back to our patient software here. So let's just enter some vitals. So let's enter, I'll say 140. Let's do pulse ox of 89. Okay. And we'll leave everything as it is. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to test it out, right? So if these layered monitor buttons are actually going to tell the software to show the vital signs on a patient monitor. So if I click this ECG, the ECG, if we go click on it, see it's showing there. Okay. So let's go back, Windows button. So we're going to turn that off. All right. And we're going to pause it. So that is how you turn the vital signs on and off. Depending on what you want to show, you just come down here and click on that. This NIBP, this is how you do a manual blood pressure. That is basically it that you're going to need as far as vital signs to show the vital signs. If you want to change your monitor to a 3-lead, you would simply go to Tools, Monitor Setup, and then you can change it to a 3-waveform layout or 4-waveform, whatever you prefer. Okay, and just click OK. So let's get into Zoom, right? Because we have our patient's vital setup, we have our monitor set up. So the last thing we need is the Zoom software, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to, now your Zoom meeting should have already been created, right? So what I do is from my personal computer, I email the Zoom invitation to the sim computer. This is the sim computer that we're using. I email that to myself, right? So if we go to Internet Explorer and I'll go to my Gmail, this is my personal Gmail account. I have sent the Zoom invitation from my work account to my Zoom account. Now, this is just easier for me to do it this way. If you have Zoom already on this computer and you can create a Zoom meeting from this computer, feel free to do it that way. This is just the easiest way for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to join the Zoom meeting, right? So we're going to allow that to join. Okay, and we want to hit join with computer audio. All right, I'm actually going to mute that for now. All right, so let's do, so from here, we're in the meeting, and let's see. So I'm in the meeting as sim user, right? Because I'm on the sim computer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. So I'm going to come down here to share screen. I'm going to click on that. And then what I'm going to do is click layered patient monitor, right? That is the only screen that I want to share. So I'm going to click on that one. And I'm also going to click share computer sound, right? Because you want to hear the alarms and the ECG, the heart rate, the beeping. It makes it a little bit more realistic. So you want to hear that as well. So I'm going to click share, right? So now this is what your meeting participants are seeing, right? So from here, we don't want to see this, right? Because we need to be in the layered patient simulator software so we can control the vitals. So from here, again, I'm going to hit that Windows button. Remember, the Windows button is next to the space bar to the left. So locate your space bar. It'll be to the left of your space bar. It'll be a picture of a window. Hit that Windows button. It's going to bring up this menu down here. We want to come down to the patient monitor software. We're going to click on that. So now we are viewing the patient monitor software, but nobody else can see this. They can only see the patient monitor. Okay? Because that's the only screen we're sharing. We're not sharing this screen. So from here, what I can do is let's make the heart rate 90. Let's make the pulse ox 95. And let's share, right? So we're going to share the ECG and the pulse ox. So now when we come back to our patient monitor, this is what they see. All right. Now the volume may be a little bit high. So what I do, and I'll come down, I'll just put this on 0 right now just for, oops. I'll put it on 0 just so I can talk. So what I typically do, because the volume of the actual monitor is pretty loud, I come down here to the, I guess like a little arrows, like fast forward arrows, and I click over until I see QRS volume. Click on that. And for when I'm doing simulations, I usually just do 1. 1 is low enough where the participants and the instructor can talk to each other and hear the beeping at the same time. And you want to do the same for alarm volume as well. Just set it to 1. Okay? And so now you're all set to do the simulation. Hit the Windows button, go back to the patient monitor, and you're good. You can start the simulation. The one key thing I will say is with the blood pressure, it's kind of loud, and there's no way to turn that down at the moment. The other sounds you can turn down, but this one, for some reason, Laerdal doesn't allow you to change that. So I'll just click it so you guys can hear it. Okay, as you can see, that was pretty loud. So there's no way to turn that down at the moment, but I'm just going to unshare the vitals. There's no way to turn that down at the moment, but okay guys, so a lot of times during a simulation, your participants may ask for a picture of the patient, or they may ask for an X-ray or a 12 lead or any type of visual components that you want to share. The way to do this via Zoom is simpler than you think. I just save all of those things to the computer. So I would just go to my photos. Here I have photos of the patient. So I'm just going to click on that, double click on it, and I'll let that load. Okay, so here we have a picture of the patient. So if the students ask to see what the patient looks like, I'll just go back to the Zoom meeting and I'll share the screen. And instead of clicking the patient monitor, what I'll click is the photos and I'll click share. And now I'm sharing this photo of the patient. So let's go back. If you're going to show a video or anything like that, you want to click share computer sound. But since this is just a photo, it's not really necessary. But I wanted to show you guys that portion in case you need to show any type of X-rays or anything like that. In my last simulation, we actually showed the patient's pupils. So we had a picture of pupils, and we just share this like we're sharing any other screen. We just click on that and click share, and now we're sharing the pupils. Okay, so let's talk about the free vital signs simulator. This one is similar to is similar to the Leap software. However, it is a free software. So I'm actually going to go to this article. If you want to learn more about the simulator software, Healthy Simulation, it's a reputable actual blog site for simulation, and they posted an article about how it was created and how people are using it. So feel free to check that out if you want to actually learn more about it. To go to their website, you would just click this vital signs simulator button here. They have it hyperlinked for you, where you could download. Actually, I already have it pulled up here. So if you were to click that button, it would take you here, and you would simply just download. Hit the download button and download and install this software as you would any normal software. As you can see, people are using this software. It's been downloaded 206 times this week alone. Now, so we're going to load the software. So let's click on it. We're going to load it up. As you can see, there's two windows. There is the actual monitor that is here, and then there's the operator interface here. So let's talk about how we use this. So it's a little bit different than the Leap software as far as how it looks, but it's not much different at all, to be honest with you. I'm just gonna bring that. I'm trying to make it a little smaller, but that's fine. We'll just use it here. Okay. So let's just talk about how we show the vitals. So all these vitals are previously set. To show the heart rate, what we're gonna do is we're gonna check heart rate available, right? So what that does is shows the number, right? If we want to show the ECG, we have to click this button here. Okay, so now we're showing the heart rate and the ECG. Now we can click the rest of our vitals as needed, and you'll see they'll start popping up on the actual monitor. So I'll move this out the way so you can see the monitor there. To make changes to the vitals, you have to use these sliders here on the left. And you can see that the sliders are next to the corresponding vitals. So if we want to make this, let's make it 100, right? We could either use the sliders, or we could come down here to the up and down arrows and choose our value that way. Now to lock this in, we have to click apply. Okay, so once we hit apply, you can see it changed on the operator software as well as the monitor. Okay, so that is how you do it for every one of these vital signs here. So I'll change that to 92 and I'll click apply, and you can see that it applied on the other one too. All right, the only one that's a little different is the actual blood pressure, but the same thing is kind of the same. The values are here, and you just pick what you want and click apply, and then it'll apply there. Now you can see the blood pressure is not showing up here. We have to click measure. Okay, and once that finished measuring, it'll show up. You can see it showed up here. So kind of like the same in the Leap software where we had to click the NIBP button. This one just says measurement. Okay, so if we come further down, let me extend this. If we come further down in the software, we have different rhythms here, and we can just click. Right now we have sinus, so I'm gonna click let me see, I'm gonna click VFib and I'm gonna click apply. All right, and you can see it showed showing VFib right here. So I'm gonna go back to sinus and I'm gonna click apply, and we should be back in sinus. Yep, but we're at 21, right? So keep in mind, going through different heart rates, you may have to change the value of the heart rate back to normal. So CPR button. if you click this button, it will mimic CPR on this on the heart rate, the vitals of the heart rate. So I'm going to click CPR start, and you can see it's kind of mimicking what the vital signs would look like if someone was doing CPR on the patient. Okay, so once we hit stop, it's going to go back to normal. So if one of your participants says I'm doing CPR, you click that button. It makes it look a little bit more realistic, right? So we're actually going to, if you look at the actual patient monitor here, you can see there's a energy, there's a charge and a shock to kind of emulate like you're giving a patient like defibrillation. But and it's going to actually mimic that. So I can actually charge, and it's going to sound like it's charging. And I'm going to click shock. Okay, you can see 200 joules was delivered. It's actually showing that. So you can use that in your simulation if you need to. But I wanted to come down here to the AED portion. It would actually analyze the rhythm and tell you if this rhythm is shockable, just kind of like a real AED. So let's click analyze.
Analyzing now. Stand clear.
All
No
right.
shock advised. Continue CPR.
Okay, you see? So it kind of adds a little bit more realism. The Leap software doesn't have this function, so this is a nice function as far as this free software. Let's click the motion detected button.
Motion detected. Stop motion. Analyzing now. Stand clear.
Okay.
No shock advised. Continue CPR.
Okay. So that's basically how to use the software. I'm not going to get into the advanced nitty gritty of it. I'm just showing you how to run basically a telesim with the vitals and a few little extras here with the AED and things like that. So let's say we got our patient set up, right? These are the vitals for our simulation. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Zoom, to our Zoom meeting. Like I said, you could either start, if you have Zoom on your computer, you can start a meeting from there. I typically like to just send the invite to my personal email, and then from Internet Explorer on the actual sim user computer, I'm going to just join the meeting from the invite, right? So I join the meeting, and I'll just wait till it lets me join. All right, and I'll click join with computer audio, and I'll just mute that. So what I'm going to do is kind of the same thing we did with Leap. Share screen. All right, and we're going to pick the training window. You can see this is the patient monitor. I'm going to click that, and we're also going to click share computer sound. So we're going to share. All right, and this is what our viewers are seeing, right? This is all they see. They can't see anything else. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down to the bottom here and click on the operating interface, and we're just going to
stand clear, push, analyze.
Okay, and we're just going to kind of move this out of the way here so we can actually see. So now whatever change we make will reflect on this computer screen. This is the only thing that our meeting participants can see. They cannot see this because this is the only screen we're sharing. All right, so that is pretty much how to use the software, and that is how to do a telesim. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm actually going to put the link somewhere where you can download this software. the links to get the the install. Okay, I hope this helped you. Telesim is a great opportunity for those days where you can't get into the lab to do simulation, or maybe you want to do a take-home assignment or an online assignment. It's a great way to still give that critical learning and to still do simulation when you can't get in the lab. So I want to thank you for watching, and take care.
If you're a healthcare worker, sim tech, or sim lab manager, you likely buy and sell simulation equipment often to stay up to date with the latest or most appropriate gear that fits your needs. SimLister allows you to sell your sim equipment while earning the true top dollar for it. With unlimited free listings, very low seller fees, and a targeted market to those looking to buy what you're selling. SimLister was made by SimTechs who saw the need for a better solution for buying and selling while earning more for your used sim equipment. Sellers and buyers are protected by PayPal's no questions asked buyer protection. If PayPal is not a good option, you can choose to receive payment via direct deposit. Join SimLister today and turn your used sim equipment into someone's treasure.